Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has a new crisis on her hands. She's being booted out of her home.
Hull says she leased this home to Henyard and her boyfriend in 2021. She says the last payment came in August. She filed eviction papers last month. She says she's now owed $5,000 in back rent plus late fees.
I'm going to be suing everybody tomorrow. This is illegal.
This is illegal.
Illegal.
Okay.
They can't beat me. If they could beat me, they would have went to the polls.
What do you do tonight if you don't get the Democratic Party's nomination?
What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard, once hailed as the so-called super mayor, was recently caught on camera being evicted from her own home. The footage reveals the dramatic fall from grace for the leader who once commanded the town. How did Henyard's journey take such a sharp turn from power to personal loss? This leaked video sheds light on just how far she has fallen.
Let the people come in. Let them come in. Let the people come in.
And it's not just the eviction, her role as Thornton Township supervisor is also gone. Was it her reckless spending, the FBI investigation, or a combination of both that ultimately led to her downfall?
I'm going to be suing everybody tomorrow. This is illegal.
This is illegal.
Illegal.
Okay.
From lawsuits to explosive public outbursts, is this the end of Tiffany Henyard's career, or is there even more scandal waiting to surface? Let's break it down. It all began on September 18th when court documents revealed that Dalton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, along with her boyfriend, Cal Woods, were behind on their rent, $3,350 to be exact. According to their landlord, Janetta Hull, the couple hadn't paid since August and Hull had reached her breaking point. Initially, I didn't want to go on camera. I'm not the kind of person who does this for attention or clickbait, said Hull. But right now, I feel like I'm at my wit's end. I have nowhere else to turn. Hull explained that she once considered Henyard a friend and even supported her political campaigns. However, that friendship soured in 2021. Hull had been preparing to rent her three-bedroom, two-bathroom home in Dalton to another family when she received a late-night call from Henyard. She said, "I hear you're renting your house." I told her yes, and that I already had someone lined up to move in, Hull recounted. But then she said, "No, they can't move in because I want it." I was shocked, but I felt pressured and eventually agreed to rent the house to her and Woods. At the time, Henyard was earning nearly $300,000 annually from her roles as mayor and township supervisor, while Woods also held a lucrative township job. Despite their substantial incomes, Hull says the couple stopped paying rent, leaving her in a difficult position.
For a household that makes, over $350,000 a year, I'm asking.
The situation took a turn for the worse this summer when Hull was forced to raise the rent by $200, bringing the monthly total to $2,400 due to rising property taxes. That's when everything began to unravel. I had to factor the increase into the rent, and Kamal Woods said he couldn't afford it. Hull explained. She claims Henyard and Woods refused to pay the increased rent in August and then stopped paying altogether, skipping rent payments for both September and October. To make matters worse, Hull alleges that the couple changed the locks and garage door code, preventing her from accessing the property. If I go over there with a locksmith to change them back, I think she'd probably have me arrested, Hull said. In late September, Hull filed an eviction lawsuit against Henyard and Woods. However, Cook County sheriffs have so far been unable to serve the lawsuit,
Trustee Christopher
failing
Gonzalez
to locate
nominated
them
Henyard,
both at the home
who was pretty much
and at Village Hall. Hull has now hired a process server to track them down. It's a very hard position to be in. I'm between a rock and a hard place, Hull admitted. I haven't worked in several months, and I'm afraid I might lose the house. Hull said Henyard blocked her on all communication platforms months ago, but had a message for the embattled mayor. At some point, you have to understand that karma will catch up to you. Just pay your rent. Even if Henyard and Woods pay the overdue amount, Hull is adamant about wanting them out of her house, which is rented on a month-to-month lease. Adding to the chaos, Hull accuses Henyard of blocking inspections of the property. With a court date scheduled for October 22nd, the public is left asking, how did the self-proclaimed super mayor reach this breaking point?
Henyard and her slate of candidates lost that nomination. She's already saying the process.
The timing of this eviction couldn't be worse for Henyard, who is already under investigation for alleged misuse of village funds. Adding to the pressure, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is reportedly leading the charge against her. To make matters even more alarming, Dolton's general fund is said to have a staggering $3.65 million deficit. This financial turmoil has only intensified scrutiny on Henyard's leadership, raising even more questions about her ability to manage public resources while dealing with her own personal and legal challenges.
Good evening. The village of Dalton is more than $3.5 million in the hole. That's the finding of an investigation into how city officials...
If you thought the eviction was dramatic, wait until you hear what unfolded at the Thorndon Township caucus meeting. Henyard's downward spiral took a shocking turn as her political career suffered yet another blow during this high-stakes event to determine her future as township supervisor, a position she had held since 2022. The gymnasium was packed with local residents, political figures, and media, all eager to witness the unfolding drama. The atmosphere was charged, and the outcome promised to be a defining moment in Henyard's already tumultuous career. Arriving in a bold hot pink pantsuit, Henyard made a striking entrance, but her initial confidence quickly gave way to frustration. She erupted in anger, accusing officials of unfairly locking her supporters out of the venue. Henyard directed her ire at Senator Napoleon Harris, alleging he had orchestrated a deliberate scheme to block her loyalists and sabotage her chances. However, Harris's team swiftly denied the allegations. According to an attorney representing him, the gymnasium had simply reached capacity due to early arrivals, and the overflow of attendees could not be accommodated. They maintained there was no evidence to support Henyard's claims of intentional voter suppression. The scene added yet another layer of controversy to Henyard's unraveling career, leaving many to wonder just how much further she could fall.
Let the city come in. Let them come in. Let the people come in.
Henyard appeared to be grasping at straws, desperately trying to spin the situation in her favor despite the glaring reality before her. Inside the packed gymnasium, emotions ran high as residents, many of whom were fed up with Henyard's controversial leadership, rallied for her removal. The proceedings were anything but orderly. Loud voices, heated arguments, and an outspoken crowd created a chaotic atmosphere. Henyard's attempts to regain control only seemed to add fuel to the fire. Her protests fell on deaf ears as attendees united in their mission to remove her from the position she had held for nearly 2 years. The result was decisive. In a unanimous vote, Henyard was officially stripped of her role as Thorndon Township Supervisor. While the verdict sent shockwaves through the room, it didn't surprise those who had been following her political troubles closely. Henyard's reaction, however, was far from composed. Instead of gracefully accepting the outcome, she doubled down on her accusations, claiming the entire process was rigged against her. She vowed to pursue legal action against those involved, labeling the decision as illegal and promising to fight it in court.
We'll be suing everybody tomorrow. This is illegal.
This is illegal in your face.
But the humiliation didn't end there. As Henyard was asked to leave the premises, the gymnasium erupted into a mix of cheers and jeers. To add insult to injury, the classic song *Na Na Hey Hey Kissed Him Goodbye* began playing over the speakers. The crowd enthusiastically sang along, turning the moment into a symbolic farewell to a leader they felt had long overstayed her welcome. The song's iconic lyrics, *Na Na Hey Hey Goodbye* seemed to perfectly encapsulate the mood in the room. It was more than just a removal from her position. It was a resounding public dismissal, stripping Henyard not only of her role but of any remaining respect or support she once held within the community.
They can't beat me. If they could beat me, they would have went to the polls.
What do you do tonight if you
This
don't get the
wasn't just
Democratic
about
Party's
losing a
nomination?
position. The caucus meeting symbolized a broader rejection of Henyard's leadership and the controversies that defined her tenure. For many residents, her time as supervisor had been marred by questionable financial decisions, public outbursts, and a perceived lack of accountability. Critics accused her of prioritizing personal gain over the community's well-being. The unanimous vote to remove her sent a powerful message. The people of Thorndon Township were ready to move forward without her. Interestingly, Henyard's removal from this role didn't automatically strip her of her other positions. She still retained the title of mayor in Dalton, but the events of the caucus meeting cast serious doubt on her ability to lead effectively. If she had lost the trust of Thornton Township's constituents, could she still govern Dolton with credibility? The fallout from this meeting would undoubtedly ripple through her remaining political career, casting a long shadow over her future prospects. As for Henyard's behavior, it has been nothing short of dramatic. From shouting matches to filing lawsuits, her reactions have only added fuel to the controversy. Before the caucus meeting, she boldly declared she couldn't be beaten. Yet moments after her removal, she threatened to sue everyone involved, calling the entire process illegal. This isn't the first time Tiffany Henyard has faced public backlash. Remember the October board meeting where she arrived late, only to be met with boos from outraged residents, or the time she attempted to veto decisions made in her absence. These high-profile outbursts have cemented her reputation, with some even dubbing her America's worst mayor. But it's not just her eviction or removal from office that has residents up in arms. Henyard's financial mismanagement has left Dolton in chaos. The Illinois State Comptroller cut off funding to the town after she failed to submit required financial reports. In one glaring example, Henyard reportedly spent $85,000 on a party while the town faced a $2.8 million deficit. Village trustees are now scrambling to address the financial crisis. But whether these measures can undo the damage caused by her extravagant spending remains uncertain. Social media has been merciless. On platforms like Twitter, users have labeled Henyard a disgrace, sharing videos of her public meltdowns and questionable decisions. One post read, "Chaos erupted in suburban Chicago when Tiffany Henyard, the most corrupt mayor in America, busted for stealing tax funds for lavish vacations, was voted out of one of her positions. She threw a fit while residents cheered. Now she's crying election fraud. Even her allies are struggling to defend her." Keith Price, a supporter, called the caucus meeting fraudulent and accused organizers of voter suppression. Yet, with mounting
What do you mean? I will be
her,
victorious tonight.
It's hard to see how Henyard can recover from this public relations disaster. So what's next for Tiffany Henyard? With lawsuits, investigations, and public backlash piling up, her political future looks bleak. Residents like Deborah Jordan have welcomed her removal as a sign of much-needed change. Henyard, however, insists she's not going down without a fight, vowing to contest her removal and continuing to claim election fraud. Will the FBI investigation lead to criminal charges? And how will her eviction affect her credibility moving forward? One thing is certain, Tiffany Henyard's time in the spotlight is far from over. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more updates. Bye for now.